You always ran to the sound of the guns. You never knew what was going to be around the corner, but it was about solving crimes, keeping people safe, and stopping a bad guy. I found great satisfaction in doing that. My name is Bill Dorsch. I was a Chicago police officer, patrolman, and detective. I started in 1970, and I retired in 1994. Detective Guevara, I knew him before he was a detective. He was a gang crimes officer working in the 14th District. I was a detective working in the 13th District Tactical Unit, but I didn't really know anything about his practices as a police officer. He came up one day and said that he had 2 young boy witnesses who he brought with him, and said that they had been witness to a murder that happened a couple months prior in Humboldt Park. The boys are telling the story that they had witnessed a shooting where a car pulled up next to another one and shots were fired from one car into another, and they were close enough that they wrote down the license plate number of the car. Now, at 2 o'clock in the morning, first of all, a 15-year-old kid's having paper and pen and being close enough to the scene to be able to write down the number is suspicious alone. And yet to tell me that now 2 months later, when you stop them, they still have it. But now I'm being told, follow up. So we ran the plate. It came back to a kid in the neighborhood. I asked Guevara to pull the suspect's photo. When he came back, I set together a photo array. I called for one boy to come up, and I explained to him, it's possible that the person that did this crime, the person that you saw, is not in the photo. So don't think that you have to make an identification of someone. The young man is looking at the photos for maybe 30, 40 seconds, maybe longer, but I'm not pushing them because sometimes people need more time. And then suddenly Guevara just reached out and put his finger on one photo and said, that's him. As soon as Guevara did it, the kid said, yeah, that's him. Maybe the hair or something, he looks a little different. You don't have to be a policeman to know that this is wrong. This is not the proper identification. Are you so stupid that you would knowingly do that when you know that's not right? But was I going to ruin his whole career? I said, wait, Guevara, you out. And I turned to my partner after he left and says, we're going to go pick up those 2 young boys tomorrow. Each of them, independent of each other, said that they had lied, that they were told they had to identify this guy, that they both got paid money, and they wanted nothing more to do with the case. The first words I'll never forget out of my boss's mouth were, Bill, what the frick are you doing? We're never going to solve this case. And I said, so you want me to arrest an innocent kid who didn't do the shooting for statistics? We got a lot of murders. My last year in 1994, we had 930 murders in Chicago. And the department is trying to clear cases. I know that. But I'm trying to clear cases correctly. You're telling me, well, it's more important to get a clear-up number so we can say out of 930 murders, we cleared 110 or whatever it is. And I was disgusted with that. He said, sit down, don't write any reports. Don't write any reports. And then later, supervisor came out and said, this is the way it's going down. We're going to declare this case closed. So you're telling me that this kid who got killed and his family who cared about that kid don't know what happened. The real offender's still out there. 2-3 weeks later, Ray Guevara gets promoted to meritorious detective, assigned to Area 5, right where I'm working. People knew I was unhappy with it, but I didn't, what could I do? I didn't promote him. I mean, when I left in 94, I wanted to leave. I couldn't work there anymore. I just didn't want to be a part of it. But after I left, what I find out later from his being there, these cases multiplied. They multiplied, where people were getting arrested and charged with murders, now proven to be innocent. difficult to put a person in jail for something he did. They suffer for something they did. But to put somebody in jail and they're innocent, I don't want to live with that. After I started testifying in a courtroom, there were still people from Area 5 that were on the police department, and they had been friends of mine when I was there. But now with Guevara in the news and things like this happening, and I would be walking through the corridors and people would mimic the gun shooting when I was walking by them. Not saying a word to me, just going like this. And so I just took it for whatever it was.